worked on the project from 2008 and completed in 2009 in terms of design and documentation, and then we had the downturn. And we did entertain people like the EPA, Salesforce, and even Levi's, but nobody signed on the dotted line. Then we got, the owner started talking to Twitter, and right about that same time, I get a phone call from ADCO, and they said, hey, we're selling the project, Terry, to Shorenstein. So please assist them, give them whatever they need. And we were lucky enough to get retained by Shorenstein to continue on with the project. We had a 20-year plus relationship with Shorenstein, so they knew us. And Twitter signed on the dotted line. I think with Shorenstein coming on board, as well as the mayor providing that payroll tax break to the mid-market area, it just started the ball rolling. And then the vision became the tech campus for San Francisco. Because once Twitter started signing on, we got One Kings Lane, Call Socket, all kinds of people really being interested in being around that area. Then 1455 Square signed on, approximately 8 months later. So it was really kind of it started the ball rolling for this change in mid-market, and our role stayed the same. We were the architects of record to take this project from the beginning all the way to the end. The word I like to use to describe that neighborhood has always been challenging. There are all kinds of people out there, from professionals to guys that sleep on the streets. And if you ever been into that Van Ness BART Muni station, it kind of says it all right there. There's also this Walgreens right in the corner of 9th and Market, where they tell me this guy is an employee of Walgreens, but I really think he's the bouncer. He's about 6'5", and every time I walk by there, he's throwing somebody out. So that's really kind of what you find in that area. So what I believe Market Square has done is to help bring in a mix of more professional people and really start to turn that area around. If you noticed, when Market Square started happening, all of the other residential projects started to take off as well, right? Because by the time they're done, there's going to be about 5,000 living units around the area, and that's going to change the neighborhood. We had 1155 Dolby purchased that, and so that's going to be their headquarters, right? And I had mentioned before, Square is taking up a lot of square footage at 1455, which is right next door. So I think that it's going to have a tremendous impact on changing that area, because also on the ground floor of 1355, we have Central Market, who has just signed a lease over there. Almost kind of a food court, if you will, of artisan foods. I don't actually see that as a challenge. It's actually a plus. Look at public transportation. It's all right there. You have BART, you have Muni, and the Market Street has now become really the main thoroughfare for cyclists to get to work, right? So I think all of those things are a plus. The other piece of this is that if you do want to talk about challenges, but it's also the right thing to do, is taking an old structure, a 1938 structure to be exact, and to provide that with all new infrastructure to be able to support what high-tech companies do. So what that means is that we had to put in all new mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems. And on top of that, when Market Square was the Furniture Mart, it only had 4 elevators that served 11 floors, okay? that doesn't quite work for a Class A office building. So one of the first things we did was to put in a state-of-the-art destination-style elevators, adding 6 more cars to the 4. So you really have 2 building cores and a total of 10 elevators now to support this campus. I do. And the reason why I say that is because we have many clients now that are down in the Silicon Valley come to us and say, can you help us produce spec suites that are for creatives, meaning tech tenants. So, everybody, all the landlords are thinking that in order for us to compete and attract companies, to be in our building, we have to make them look less like traditional office spaces and turn them into more like loft, New York style, South of Market spaces. So what that means is that they're asking us to not, put finished ceilings in, rip those things out, have the mechanical systems, the electrical systems be exposed. Don't wrap the gypboard furring around the columns. Leave them off, expose the steel. Create bigger break rooms, because that usually becomes the heart of these tech companies. They have all hands meetings there. People hang out there all day with their laptops doing work. So yes, they're asking us to create, suites like that for them, just like we do here.